Perhaps the effect should have been worse in the dark of Hop-tu-naa, but the truth is I could have been standing in front of the Kane mansion on a bright and warm summer's day, and I'd still have experienced the same penetrating chill, the same pulsing sense of unease, as if the ground was slowly stirring beneath my feet, or the forces of gravity had been subtly but undeniably altered. It wasn't just the scale of the place, which was vast and daunting, or the drab grey exterior, or the signs on the towering entrance gates that read, "Private Estate. Trespassers will be prosecuted." It wasn't that the grounds were uncared for, the borders overgrown, and it wasn't the sense that something unsightly was concealed here behind the double front doors and the recessed windows with their blackened glass and yellowing net curtains. No, the reason I feared this place was far more simple. I knew I wasn't welcome. Mum worked here as Edward Kane's personal assistant, bookkeeper and household manager. It was the same job she'd held before she'd moved off island with Dad in the year before I was born. Back then it had been a live-in position, but things change, and now that arrangement was out of the question. Mr. Kane had been prepared for Dad to move into the guest cottage with Mum, but not for a child to live there too. Dad had been pleased about that. He preferred for us to have our own place, even if it was cramped and riddled with woodworm and damp. Good for Dad. There was no doubt in my mind that I would have died of fright if I'd been made to live there. Visiting was bad enough. After a couple of months back on the island, Dad had landed a job with a removals company, and on those occasions where Mr. Kane needed Mum to work beyond the end of the school day, I was forced to join her. In the beginning, it only happened once a week or so, but it wasn't long before Mr. Kane started to insist on Mum working late much more often. She was often harried, often under pressure, and he was constantly pushing her to do more. Sometimes he telephoned to ask her to return to work in the evening, or to show up earlier than normal the following morning. Dad didn't like it, but Mum would still go. She told him we needed the money, and I could tell that her words contained an unspoken criticism, as if Dad had failed us in some mysterious way. I never understood it. We weren't rich like Mr. Kane. There were toys I couldn't always have, holidays we couldn't afford to go on, but we weren't poor either. There were kids in my class at school who were much worse off. There were some who couldn't afford uniforms and others who came to school hungry because there was no breakfast at home. And before we'd moved back to the island, money had never seemed to be an issue. Maybe I was too young to notice, but I think it's more likely that it wasn't something my parents were bothered by. All they used to care about was spending time with each other, and if things had changed, I couldn't begin to imagine why. The one thing I did know for sure was that during the past fortnight I'd been inside the Kane mansion 7 times. As far as I was concerned, it was 7 times too many, and tonight I'd finally had my fill of it. Being shoved forwards in the Halloween black, I glared at the structure and could almost imagine it glaring back. The walls seemed alive in some alien way, the windows like dark, unblinking eyes. It was a place made for nightmares. A shambling, teetering relic, filled with too many rooms and too many hidden, unlit spaces. I want to go home. Mum positioned me in front of the imposing double doors. The turnip lantern had burned out some time ago, and now it looked a lot like a shrunken head on a string. You can go home once Mr. Kane has seen your costume. He's been looking forward to it. No, he hasn't. He hates me. Claire, he does. I don't want to sing for him. I'm tired. I want to go home. Mum snatched at my wrist and hauled me round. Don't you misbehave, young lady. Don't you dare let me down. Didn't want to come here. She blinked. Her lip trembled, and for just a moment I saw the sadness well up in her again. The slackening of the muscles in her face. The